I was just in meditation and honestly I couldn't stop the words from coming. Okay, so now here I am doing a recording, and I just first want to say that I'm consecrating this space in the name of the Holy Spirit. So that only the Holy Spirits move through me, within me, and around me, evicting all other spirits and clearing away any clutter, any biases, any conflict, any houses of ego, in a way, purifying the space of sharing. And second up, I just want to acknowledge the big journey that we're all walking right now. This great awakening looks different for each of us, and just holding so much compassion in my heart, and such a knowing in my mind that we each have to face what we face. We each walk and walk into the challenges and out of them as they arise. And we all face the darkness and the shadow and the parts that we've been denying for so long. At some point we will come to face with those, and that looks different for each of us. And how long we spend in that darkness and in that shadow, well, again, that's unique to each of us. And for me personally, it feels like a roller coaster of going in and out of the dark and the light, and the dark of the light, and the lengths of the ups and the downs change and vary, and layers change and vary on this beautiful journey of being on earth in a human being body, or the school of earth, having this experience called life. So acknowledging that, and I am sharing from my experience and what comes through me and what feels present and relevant for me right now, what feels on top. And while there was so many things floating around, I now just going to pause and see what is right there. And just the word friends comes forth. And for me, it's been super important. It's been a top priority to become my own friend. There's been a lot of healing in that. As me taking responsibility and holding and validating and loving and being my own best friend, and not looking to outsource that position to anyone. That doesn't mean that I don't go to my husband or people that are close to me, that are really good at listening and holding the space for me to share my experience in this earth realm, and gosh, even offer advice if I ask for it. But that first means that I have my own back, that I don't betray myself and externalize anything. I first go within. I become my best friend, my own friend. And I couldn't really do it from the mind perspective. This was an experience that had to come from dropping into the heart, from connecting with something also that is greater than me, that is teaching me and showing me how to be my own best friend. And that connection has really been through God, the creator of this beautiful organic life. And then it's not only am I my own best friend, I am my parent, both my mother and father combined. Not in a way that feels super heavy and hard, but in the most loving, nurturing way. And creating and cultivating a deeper relationship with the Creator God has really supported these parts of me awakening from within me, but also being held by this part that exists, this energy that exists in life. What I feel to share is that it's really encouraged and directed me back inwards. That the age-old saying is, the answers are within, and everything we have within us is enough, and nothing outside of ourselves will really offer the same accuracy or healing ability to what is within us already, and that connection to life. And it has been quite an uncomfortable journey, but one I'm very proud of, and one that has given me great strength and courage to continue to continue facing all the parts of myself that still have a journey to walk, to feel that love and that wholeness within. But there is also this incredibly freeing experience and such a level of peace that comes to, for someone that has been incredibly codependent in relationships in the past and seeked outside of myself and needed validation from other people to paint a picture of who I am. So my sense of self really came from how other people saw me, and that created a lot of suffering, a lot of pain. And so as I step away from that way of being to a way of being that has a stronger sense of self, that is more self-actualized and self-realized and self-reflective, where I can validate myself and not need the world around me to tell me whether I'm good or bad. That doesn't mean I don't go to my trusted friends, ever. That just means I'm very selective. I'm not very selective. I'm moving towards greater discernment in who I give myself to, who I share my energy with, who I allow into my inner world and my inner circle in terms of a sense of energy. There's only so much space and capacity I have within that field to allow others in, and so choosing that quality over quantity has been a huge factor. Feel all these little threads weaving in, so many different themes within this. And there is that kind of saying, if you've got friends, good allies close to you, and you can count them on one hand, you really are blessed. And I think that's true. I think to have more than 5 close friends would take away from my path. this is for me personally, I'm speaking of my own experience, I wouldn't have the space and capacity I needed for myself, for my own time being my own best friend, for my relationship with my husband and my daughter. And then, you know, those relationships then filter out to how much time and capacity and energy that I can give to them. So having loving compassion for the relationships that are outside of my inner circle and are floating further out in the periphery, acquaintances, people I meet every now and again, just realizing that not everyone has to serve the same purpose. Not everyone is willing to go to the depths. Not everyone is willing to see you in the good and the bad, and still be able to hold you in your wholeness. Not everyone is here to be on that road, that deeper journey. And not everyone is meant to be with you for your entire life. And I think with aging and maturing, it's been a really beautiful journey through relationships, starting to understand those pieces and understand them and accept and be okay with the fluctuations in relationships, and also me holding true to my own boundaries and my own energy. And now that I don't need that external validation, or I work towards not needing that, because, you know, layer by layer, right? I'm not searching for these friends to build me up, you know, not relying on the friendships to paint a picture of who I am anymore. And all of that's really powerful because there is a sense of toxicity when relationships are hard and fast, or there's an expectation that you have to be a certain way, and as soon as you fall off that way of being, then the other person doesn't understand you because they've only ever held you in a certain way of being, and they can't hold your wholeness. There's a pressure, there's an expectation. There is another train of thought there, but it hasn't quite landed. But what has landed is just staying open and curious in relationship, allowing the boundaries to move, allowing the energy to move, dancing with, not holding on too tight to anything, moving in the direction of flow, not being afraid to let go, seeing what God has to show, and sitting back and enjoying it. You know, there's a deep sense of peace when I let go of the reins, when I let go of control and come back to knowing that everything is okay and that I am safe from within, that I have my own back and I can validate myself. I know who I am. I know my intention. I know what I feel. And so just honoring that feeling and not betraying that feeling anymore for the sake of someone else, for the sake of being liked or validated or seen and heard. Just letting those parts of me that need to be seen in a certain light drop away, to allow my wholeness to start to show. I'm not perfect. Being human is not perfect. It is a messy experience. But being curious, staying curious, not judging myself, therefore not judging others, holding compassion in my heart, in my field, coming back to love and asking, what would God do? Too easy to judge, too quick to change, too easy to get rid of. It seems friendships fall apart every day, but not the one I have with myself. I will never betray myself I'm learning not to judge myself. I'm learning to stay true to myself, honor myself, respect myself, contain myself, my energy, not letting it leak for the sake of keeping peace. Holding space for myself to be heard, letting my voice be shared to the world. Not that anybody's listening, but most importantly, I am listening, and God hears it all. Not letting my boundaries be crossed in terms of unhealthy energy leaks into personal relationships that weep and weep because they are one-sided and there is no receptivity, reciprocity. There's no equal exchange. Just learning to step away quietly. No need to confront. No need to resist what's already falling away. Come home into your heart and pray. Because it's all okay. We are learning together, being curious. We are human beings, becoming embodied, maturing, learning to hold the keys for our own life. Learning to be bright, to shine the light. Learning to hold the darkness but not be the darkness. Learning to refocus our intention, because where energy goes, manifestation grows. The energy flows, and that's what we know to become reality. So when we flow the energy back into ourselves and we make the intention known and clear that we are coming home to ourselves, that is what happens. The noise, the distractions from the outside world become less and less. But within that, we become healthier versions of ourselves, without the distractions, without the constant noise and the triggers. We don't need to be triggered every single day. We don't need to face everything all at once. Simplify, simplify, simplify. Less is more. More or less. So when we do meet, and we meet our friends, how can we hold that compassionate heart wide open? Not judging ourselves or judging them. How can we not take from people or not manipulate the energy? Not steal people's time just for a rhyme. Not take people's time just for a validation of ourselves. What is the intention when we reach out? What do we need from these other people that we're not meeting ourselves? Can you really listen when your friend is sharing? Can you even be interested enough to ask, how are you doing, and mean it? Or are you just there sharing and chewing an air off? Verbal diarrhea, not contained in your own energy. I myself am guilty of that, feeding the spirits of the negative ego, validating my own self. My mind loves to think and share its thoughts. Fun to process externally, but what does it take from just being here and now and feeling what it's like to be with another in this experience of being human? Where am I trying to escape the now? The feelings so intense, the pain of the present is what it feels like to be really alive sometimes. Deep breaths, let it move through you. Let it move me, let me roar and dance and scream and then just weep in a bath of salty tears. Back to curiosity. Being curious about myself and the way I react and get triggered and feel in relationship. Going within to find the answers I seek, not without. Knowing again and again every time I want to reach out and say something and blame and project, that is this internal rejection. So I'm learning, and I'm getting there, I'm getting there. I'm going within, I'm going within, I'm going within. Daily my prayers bring me back into the presence of my being as I clear up my energy field more and more. Doing my shamanic studies has really helped me with my boundaries and understand not only this physical reality world, but what goes on in the energetic world. We are all stealing from each other because we're not being responsible enough. We are pushing our responsibilities onto one another, which is hurting each other. But this is all part of the process of becoming embodied humanity, maturing emotionally, physically, spiritually. And so as I accept that this is the journey, all I come back to is compassion, compassion, and compassion. And that compassion keeps me grounded and centered and in my heart and full of love for myself and for my fellow humans as we are all walking this journey. And this journey looks different for each of us as we weave in and out from dark to light to dark to light, experiencing our wholeness, no longer in denial that we exist across all planes. We are multidimensional beings. We are more than meets the eye. And as these times are awakening us to this, we are feeling beyond what we are saying. And so having compassion for the feelings that go beyond the knowing that tells us what's happening, whether we want to admit it or not. We are learning. We are learning our multidimensionality. We are learning now more than ever that the energy is what matters. It's what matters the most. It is what directs us on our path. And so we are cleaning up our energy and cleaning up our actions. We are cleaning up our actions. We are cleaning ourselves up. We are purifying not only our bodies and our minds and our actions, but we are purifying this world. We are moving towards the Holy Spirits, so that only the Holy Spirits reside within each and every one of us. eradicating, evicting all negative houses of ego and all seemingly evil or anti-life spirits, all spirits that cause pain and suffering and separation within us. Coming back to compassion as we each walk our path. Sharing from the heart. No agenda, nothing hidden other than the intention of sharing from the heart and seeing what art can be created.